Mr. Sisodia, welcome to Modern Plastics TV, and it is my pleasure to invite you specially for an exclusive today. Thank you so much for being with Modern Plastics TV at AICON Petrochemical Conference, and I am so glad to see you here because what you spoke yesterday was excellent, and it is for the industry and environment. So I will have some more questions on this, and which will be good for the industry and knowledgeable for the people who are watching us. Thank you so much for coming on live and watching us. Mr. Sisodia, my question is, yesterday you spoke about low sulfur fuel, and as I am connected to plastics and chemical and the environment, I understood what you spoke. How much impact will be on the environment, and how it will help the shipping companies or the organizations of the maritime industry. Also, I would like to know how we can save energy, environment, and how it will work. What are the impact on this? And this will help our viewers to understand what is the latest trend coming up.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph, for your kind words. It was also interesting for me to address almost over 150 delegates in this conference, and you have asked a very, very valid question. In today's world and today's India, everything is getting focused onto as to how we can improve the environment so that people can breathe cleaner air. And one of the topics that I covered yesterday was the decision of the International Maritime Organization to implement the use of low sulfur bunker fuel in the ships which are traveling all across the world. Currently, the fuel which is being used in these ships is less than 3.5% sulfur. That means this sulfur can go up to 3.5% of the weight of the fuel that is being used. You can understand that if 3.5% is the sulfur, how much of sulfur dioxide is getting produced and is going to the environment. This is really, really not so good for the environment. Therefore, this international organization, that is IMO, had come up to implement this fuel which is called as IMO 2020. This fuel has been decided now that this will be implemented from 1st March 2020. And in order to facilitate the ships which are coming to Indian coasts, Government of India had taken up this task as to we must have low sulfur fuel which is called as LSFO bunker fuel, which will be having sulfur less than 0.5%, and as per the estimates we will be producing bunker fuel with something about 0.45% sulfur. And I am proud to say that Indian Oil is the only company as of now who have announced that we are ready to produce this low sulfur bunker fuel from October 2019. That is almost about 6 months ahead of the target that has been given by IMO, International Maritime Organization. Here I would like to say this fuel will be produced from our Gujarat refinery, and from Gujarat refinery it will be transported by rail, that is wagons, to Kandla. And Kandla will be the hub for storing this low sulfur bunker fuel, and the production capacity at Gujarat refinery will be 1 million metric tons per annum. The product will go to Kandla, and from Kandla it will move coastally to all the coasts, that is Mumbai, Karwar, then Cochin, Vizag, Chennai, and right up to Haldia, Tuticorin. And all these ports we are ready to store and handle this low sulfur bunker fuel. This is an initiative that we have taken, will provide cleaner environment in the seas, not only for India but across the world. We are also getting references and inquiries from the ship owners in Europe and US, and they are very excited and very I must say they are very excited to know that a country like India has taken this lead. One of the first countries in the world to come up with this low sulfur fuel availability ahead of the schedule, that is from October 2019.
Congratulations to you and Team IOCL for doing such an innovative product to save the environment, because people doesn't even know what is the environmental impact difference on above the sea level. This will save a lot of environment pollution using the low sulfur. And yesterday also you spoke about security of fuel in India, fuel security in India. Could you elaborate on this for our viewers? Because you spoke about renewable energy, solar energy, many things. Could you please tell on this to our viewers, which will also help our people to understand how we can change and save environment?
Mr. Joseph, I must compliment you that you have taken points from my yesterday's presentation and talk and the keynote address, and all these discussions or the point are all pointing towards as to how is India progressing towards our actions on a cleaner environment, so that life of people can be better and they can breathe much better air and does not affect the health of the people. And let me tell you, this energy security of India, there is a document brought up by the government of India that is called as Energy Security 2035. In that document also, it is very clearly saying that the mission is to make the energy available to the people, make the cleaner energy available to people at affordable prices. This is the challenge of the government of India, and in this direction we are all working. And basically India is there is an energy mix that is called, and almost about 60% of the energy being consumed is coming from coal. Almost about 30% comes from oil and gas, and balance 10 is coming from renewable energy sources, which is like solar energy, wind energy, nuclear energy, and biomass and things like that. And I would like to say that in the field of renewable energy, that is solar energy, wind energy, etc., India has moved from, say, the contribution of something about 6%, which was there in 2017-18, to now in 18-19 it has moved to 13%. It has moved to 13%. And across the countries, this is a very good progress made by India, and that's why the government of India is also now focusing on promoting the solar energy and wind energy, which is abundantly available in the country. In the petroleum sector, I would like to speak more of petroleum sector. In the petroleum sector also, in the refineries also, we burn a lot of fuel to process the crude oil. There also now we are innovating the refining processes, and in the refining processes now we are going in for more and more cokers. Now, as on date, excepting 1 or 2 refineries, we have already installed the cokers. Basically, what coker does is, coker is trying to reduce the emissions that takes place in the refining process, and we are trying to generate more and more white fuels. And that's why in the coker, the residue which comes as pet coke, which is used in the cement plants, and in cement plants pet coke, although it is burnt, but it is not hurting the environment, because in the cement plants when pet coke is burnt, it is being consumed by lime, and when it is consumed by lime, it makes gypsum. And gypsum, how it is made? The lime is absorbing the sulfur dioxide, which is polluting the environment. Therefore, the use of pet coke, even by Central Pollution Control Board, the use of pet coke in cement and lime industry is permitted. This is good for the people, and that's how in the oil sector we are innovating. Another product which we have brought out to reduce the consumption of furnace oil, which also creates pollution, is the LSHS, low sulfur high stock, that is being used in the power plants. Again, it reduces the pollution in the environment. On the energy security, let me tell you, the focus is increasing day by day, and as we all know, life will be very difficult if we don't have sufficient energy. Therefore, besides the traditional sources of energy, now the Government of India is also working on the renewable sources, because in oil and gas almost 75% dependence is there on the imported crude. So more and more energy we produce and take from the domestic sources and on renewable sources, then our dependence on the imported crude oil also will reduce, which will make our country less dependent on outside world. That's how the outlook is, and I'm so happy to say that this conference has brought out a very good perspective on all these issues, and thank you, Mr. Joseph, for covering up this, and I wish you all the very best in all your endeavors.
It is wonderful to know that oil and gas industry, especially IOCL, is focusing on how to save the environment and cleaner air, cleaner environment. Sir, also you spoke about renewable energy, and when I was talking to you, you also spoke on plastics used on the road construction. Could you please elaborate something on this for our viewers? It will be more interesting for even for the environment and the government to understand the impact where we can use this plastic into the road. And it will help us to sustain a better environment. So could you please elaborate this for our viewers, sir?
Yeah, again a very, very important question, and very, very relevant question. And this is one of the initiatives being taken up in the road construction sector. And one of the things, as you must be seeing today, in the major cities, you will find that these trucks and the municipal corporations are removing large quantities of plastic, like plastic bottles, materials getting eatable material getting packed in the plastic bags and things like that. So much of plastic is getting generated, which is certainly harming the environment. Therefore, an initiative has been taken maybe about 10 years back. And this plastic, waste plastic is collected, and this waste plastic, how it is used is that waste plastic is collected and then it is shredded into thin layers, and this waste plastic is heated, and when the stone grit for road construction, it is being heated in the hot mix plant. In this process, this shredded plastic is being put onto the hot aggregates or hot stone. So what is happening? This hot stone is getting covered by a plastic layer, because it is heated at 160 degrees centigrade. The whole plastic is getting melted, and these stone aggregates are covered with the plastic layer. So what happens? You must have seen in the rains that the bituminous roads are getting damaged like anything, and you are having potholes on the roads. The basic issue is that from the stone, when it comes into the contact of water, the bituminous layer on the stone is getting removed, and once it is getting removed, the road is getting damaged. But here in this case, what will happen, that when the hot plastic is there on the stone aggregates or stone chips, on that then the hot bitumen is added. So the bond between bitumen and aggregate is becoming much stronger when the plastic coating is taking place, and as a result, the removal of bitumen from the stone aggregates is not taking place during the rains. So besides use of waste plastic, avoiding environmental pollution, it is also resulting into creation of better roads for our people, and particularly the roads in the rains, it is not getting damaged. Generally, about 8% by weight, the waste plastic is being added into this road construction, and there again it is giving you saving on 8% of the bitumen cost. Waste plastic is very cheap, whereas the bitumen is almost about 40 rupees per kg. So that much saving also is taking place, and there is a lot of appreciation coming from municipal corporation in big cities, and these roads on trial as well as in practice now have been done in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Jharkhand, Uttarakhand, and Kerala also, and in the state of West Bengal also, Sikkim initiatives are being taken, and Government of India along with Central Road Research Institute have come out with the specifications also for this kind of roads. So I am sure when maybe next conference I would be making a detailed presentation on this roads with waste plastic, so that people are getting more and more aware, engineers become more and more aware and use their wisdom and technology to promote this use of waste plastic, so that we avoid the pollution being created by the plastic materials. Thank you.
It is wonderful to have such an insight on waste plastics used on road construction, and there are some information also new for me, because the burning level is 160 degree, which was not aware for me, and the coating on the stone gives the strength. It is wonderful, and industries should adopt, road construction industries should adopt this technology and work on this, which will reduce our pollution, will be controlled, and the environment will be cleaner. So also my last question, how do you see the total petrochemical, petroleum and the industry down the line 5 years? How do you see the industry down the line 5 years as everybody is expanding in petroleum and petrochemical? Also, what message you want to give it to the industry?
Yeah, the outlook on the petroleum and petrochemical industries will be very, very challenging in next about 4 or 5 years. In fact, yesterday in the conference, I have presented an outlook of supply demand and outlook for this industry right up to 29-30. That is almost about next 10 years. But next 4 or 5 years will be very, very crucial. And as I said, all actions in the industries, including the petroleum industry and petrochemical industry, will be guiding towards a better environment. All the actions that will be taken will ensure that any government regulations which come for a cleaner environment, all our actions, all our processes, all our products must be able to meet up those statutory regulations. Just to tell you, yesterday as I shared, in next about 2 to 3 years, in fact from next year onwards, one of the major products, that is furnace oil and bitumen, will be in deficit. Why? Because now refineries are slowly trying to reduce these fuels which are bottom of the barrel, which are not so good for environment, and they are going for the refinery upgradations. So as a result, both bitumen and furnace oil will be in the deficit scenario in the country. However, this will be a good business proposition for the people who are in this trade, as to look for imports of these both materials, bitumen and furnace oil, to meet the demand of the country. As far as petrochemicals are concerned, we have lot of growth potential in the country. Actually speaking, yesterday I shared in my talk that in petrochemicals we are way behind the world. Actually, there used to be only one petrochemical plant in Haldia Petrochemicals. Then Panipat Petrochemical Complex came, and then Reliance Petrochemicals. These are three major people. And now IOC is going to have a petrochemicals complex in Paradip refinery also. Other than that, the initiatives in the oil industries are in the nascent state. Therefore, looking at the world and looking at the growth potential for petrochemicals in the world, I see a lot of demand coming up and a lot of potential. So people who are in this business can look forward to a very, very positive growth and look forward for a better business in the coming years.
Sir, also, throughout the presentation, people are talking about challenge of price changing every day in fuel industry. How do you see this, and how we can balance this? Because traders were talking about they are facing so much of trouble. How can we balance this situation? What is your guidance for this to the traders and the petroleum industry?
Yeah, another interesting question. In fact, in my keynote address and the presentation, I had covered this aspect, and I also advised the delegates, or rather submitted to the delegates, that with the instant changes like this prices, they should not get worried, but they must try and understand their business. And as I said, that business depends upon, or the price depends upon supply demand. And if you understand the supply demand of your product, and you also understand not only the current supply demand, but you must have an outlook for the supply demand of your product in the short term as well as in the long term. The price is something which is one of the parameters in your business. So one must not get worried too much on pricing. Whenever there are prices fluctuations, for dealing with the price fluctuations, you must try and build up your infrastructure, build up your strategies, how to deal with this. Like when many people are saying when the prices are going down, sir, this is very troublesome. But you see a situation that if the person has enough storage capacity, he can hold the product on low price, and when the price goes up, the selling can take place. As far as the daily pricing or monthly or fortnightly pricing is concerned, this is also not a very, very significant issue. Actually speaking, as I yesterday was telling, that in India, all of us will have to do a lot of hard work. We are way behind in this scenario. Like, in the countries like United States or Europe, you have not only daily pricing, you have prices which are different at different retail outlets. At one retail outlet you get one price, at the second retail outlet you get another price. So price is basically one of the parameters. My submission to the people who are in this trade or in this business should be that how you bring up a USP in your business. You should not bother about the price. I quoted an example yesterday, that when you go to buy your laptop or any soft machine, and also you go to buy Apple, the Apple guy may not talk to you nicely also. He may not give you discount also, but he has a USP. His product is superb when you use that. So therefore, kindly don't focus on price. Create a product and service so that customer is satisfied and customer is ready to pay the price that you would like to. For example, we are having this conference. If you have good speakers in this conference, people will come and pay you any price. But if you don't have good speakers, then no matter how much efforts you make, people may not come. So I think in the business we must not focus only on price. We must focus on the product and service that, or the value for money that will create for the customer. And I promise you one thing, that if you focus on these aspects, pricing will be just one of the parameters in your business. Thank you.
Today, if you ask anyone and everyone, they say, oh, I am stressed, or I am in pressure. So, for this, I know you are the right person to speak on this. and nowadays you are speaking in many places. Could you please tell our viewers how can you balance this stressful life and the controlling the pressure, and how you can balance this?
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. You are asking very, very relevant questions, and people must be looking for to answers or the suggestions on these matters, because I do face problem from the people who are there with me, that when the targets are stretched and too many reviews are taking place, they are feeling stressed. So the first thing, my first message will be to the leaders or the people at the higher positions, that they must have good health. And I will give you a small example. Like when all of us are traveling in the aircraft, the air hostess comes and makes an announcement about the safety, and it says very very aptly that you must put your mask on yourself before trying to help others. So therefore, my suggestion will be first to the leaders or the people who are at higher positions, that you guys must have good health. And for having good health, one of the things is that your health must be good. And how can we have good health is that you must take care of your morning walk or the gym or the treadmill, whatever possible, and do not go for the justifications. Many people justify that because I am traveling so much and I had yesterday very late night, so I can't. So don't miss on your health. And secondly, all people at the senior positions naturally they are much senior in the age also, and as the age progresses, I think we should try to have more and more discipline, particularly on eating. And I would like to say that the old saying that you must have your breakfast like a king, you must have your lunch like a prince, and you must have dinner like a beggar. And my advice will be that if dinner you want to have anything after 7:30 or 8, better don't have. Have a glass of milk, that should be more than enough. And during the day, I know there will be long hours of sitting, so have meal in breaks. Don't have too much at the same time. Have little less in lunch, something around 5:36. And if you are going to have long hours, close your day by eating something around 7:38, and try and go to sleep as early as possible, because this work that you are chasing or the work that you are trying to do is a never ending process, and if you feel that you will finish everything on the same day, you are highly mistaken. So have patience, have a balanced life, and have good health. And once you will have good health, you will be able to take stress, and you will probably pass on less stress to your subordinates or the people, so that they also can have good health. And that's the message. And I also will say, don't get worried too much, be happy, try doing your best. God is with you and will remain with you for you to succeed. Thank you.
Mr. Sisodia, thank you so much for being with us live today. And it was wonderful to know, having so much of knowledge imparting from your end to the people or viewers. I have a request that, I request you to give us some time continuously for a series of program in Modern Plastics TV, which will help the industry as well as the viewers to understand the impact and latest trend, what is happening in the industry. And thank you so much once again for your time, valuable time, and we wish you all the success to you and Team IOCL. Have a wonderful time.
Yes, Mr. Joseph, it will be my pleasure to be with you in this kind of series of talk to be aired for the viewers of Modern Plastic TV. And I also take this opportunity to really compliment you and your team for this wonderful initiative to get across to the users, and particularly the people in the industry, wherein we are not only talking about the production or the processes, but we are also talking about issues like general health of the people, environment. And I really appreciate your outlook on everything that you are talking, which is relating to the better actions on the better environment. I wish the Modern Plastics TV all the success in all the endeavors that you take. Thank you. I also would like to congratulate Mr. Rexy Ravindran for organizing this conference, and wish him all the very best in his endeavors in the coming days when he organizes such conferences. Thank you.